Namaste. My name is Kelly McKibben, and I'm a professionally certified yoga teacher as well as a yoga therapist. Today, we're going to be exploring an approach to yoga therapy that I consider valuable for all levels of practitioners. I've noticed as my professional training is extended and my own personal experience deepens that it's a very valuable practice to utilize remedial movement to increase an awareness of safety and alignment before more advanced postures are attempted or as warm ups for the traditional hatha yoga practice. So, join me in exploring some of these somatic mechanics that will help you to achieve more stability, strength, mobility, focus, attention, balance, and serenity. Let's begin. So, stretching out on your back. Allow any micro movements to help improve your sense of presence, relaxation, and stillness as you take a position of least resistance upon your yoga mat. Stack your forearms on top of your solar plexus, somewhere between your belly button and your lower rib cage. Relax your shoulders and your elbows to the floor. And closing your eyes, let's just take a few breaths, allowing the belly to rise and expand, and then to soften and release. What is it like for you to breathe and be here now, invoking an increasingly intimate relationship with your breath and body? Allow yourself to release any sense of anxiety or ideas of performing. Tap inwardly to this arena of love, acceptance, and appreciation for your abilities as well as your limitations. Okay, so releasing your arms to your side, then one knee and then the other. You're going to place your feet hip width apart and create a somewhat sharp angle with the knees, so the kneecaps are facing straight up towards the ceiling. Place your hands palms down diagonally away from the shoulders. Release the shoulders to the floor and engage a bit of a pelvic and abdominal core, pressing the lower back towards the floor. This seems like a simple movement. We're just going to be lifting one leg and then lowering it, and then switching sides, lifting and lowering the other leg. Go back and forth. Again, attempting to engage the abdominal core, pressing the lower back securely towards the floor. This will help you work more deeply with the balancing of the guy wires of your inner hip musculature, so to allow your pelvis to be stable and responsively mobile. So how about one more on each side? And then pause for a moment to once again stack your hands or your forearms over the solar plexus and just enjoy a few more breaths, softening into the depth of appreciation for your pelvis, lower back, and belly. Release the hands and arms again to sort of a diagonal extension out of the shoulders. And let's go a little bit more deeply with this next series. Pull one knee into chest, and then extend that leg just a couple inches off the floor. Pull that knee back into chest, and we're not using our hands for this. And then place that foot securely to the floor. Other side, draw the knee in. Slowly extend, perhaps with an active flex in your ankle. And then pull that knee back in again. And then stabilize the foot to the floor. And let's just do this a few more times, noticing the natural articulation of the pelvis. And can you tell where else your muscles are being activated in order to explore this movement that is so healthful for the lower back, the lower abdomen, the entire pelvis, and of course the hip, knee, and ankle joints? Okay, so let's do one more. In and extend, and then flex that knee back in again and release. So this time, let's just extend the legs, allow the feet and the legs to fall open. Again, place the hands or the stacked forearms on top of the upper solar plexus. And breathe in a way that you can feel the rise and expansion on your inhalation and the soft vacation of the breath on the exhalation. Your body loves your intimacy, so continue to pay attention to the gift of your presence during your practice. Again, exhale, release. Return the arms and hands to their home base position, and once again, place the feet hip width apart with the heels drawn closely towards the buttock. We're now going to turn the palms of the hands to face upwardly, broadening further across the collarbone and releasing the shoulder blades more flatly to the floor. This next series involves a lot of core strength. You might even want to draw the pubic bone towards the navel in order to lengthen and secure the lower back against the floor. Walk your toes forward so you're on your tippy toes with your heels lifted, and allow a movement that allows one leg, toes at a time to stretch forward and down. This is sort of a dipping motion. Alternating the legs in motion, dipping the foot and toes forward and down. Can you maintain this engaged core as you continue? For 3 and 2 and 1 and 0. Slowly lower your feet back to the floor. Take in a breath. And let it out. And then bring your feet closely together, your knees as well. Turn the hands to palms down if you wish. And let's allow some integrative movement to support, synthesize, and assimilate those recent practices. Okay, and one more to each side. Coming back to stillness, separate your feet hip width apart, and again, draw the heels fairly closely towards the buttock, creating more of a sharp angle of the kneecaps towards the ceiling.
Draw your arms to your sides and roll the shoulders up, back, and down. This is the bridge pose. We're going to bend the elbows here to a right angle, actively engage the fingers with the palms of the hands facing each other. We'll warm up a little bit into the bridge pose. First, begin to articulate the pelvis. You're going to arch the back as if I could slide my hand underneath the small of your back, and then reverse that movement, pressing deeply downwardly. When do you inhale? Can you notice that? And when do you exhale, and how deeply? Notice the sensations in your back, and then observe the rocking of the pelvic bowl and the effects of that on the abdominal arena. Okay, one more time in each direction. And then the next time that you dynamically flatten the back against the ground, once again, draw the pubic bone towards the navel, and I'm hoping you'll feel a little bit of a tone here across the top of the thighs. This engages the quadriceps as we begin to go further with the bridge pose. Okay, turn the tailbone under and slowly lift the pelvis. I'd like you to be aware of the pubic bone reaching a little higher than the hip bones as you do this. And then slowly release, allowing the tailbone to come down last if possible. Let's do this again, rocking the pelvis and lifting the pubic bone. You might come up a little higher. Notice the engaged thighs and buttocks as you do this. And then release the middle, lower, and then the tail all the way back to the floor. Begin to notice your breathing. When do you inhale? Can you reach up to about 80% of your known effort? And then come all the way down to 0 effort. 2 more. Actively curl that tailbone under, press down through the heels, engage the thighs and the buttock. And here on this next one, I'm going to invite you to keep going, to rest, or to hold. Now let's just go through the proper alignment and safety in this posture as we hold it. You're going to spread your feet by lifting and spreading your toes, and then relax the toes without gripping. Engage the heels towards the floor. And then imagine that there's some sort of a beach ball between your inner thighs so that you might actively squeeze to further engage the inner and outer thighs. Once again, lift the pubic bone higher than these ACEs or pelvic bones. And then reposition your upper arms and your elbows, pressing them down to further elevate and dome the chest or the thoracic region. Okay, tuck your chin slightly in towards your throat, and then slightly withdraw the chin away from your throat. And what you're doing is creating a little bit of a natural curve in your neck, and that's very valuable throughout this practice. Okay, 2 more breaths. Inhale, lift, expand the belly and rib cage. Exhale, can you blow out through your mouth, vacating the lungs? Last one. And release your arms down, and as before, lower the upper and then the middle and then the lower back and tailbone. So we're just going to roll on the arms to turn the palms to face upwardly, and then slowly, one leg at a time, extend and rest. Once again, allow the feet to fall open, the legs to relax. Take a few deep breaths and sense the afterglow of your recent effort. Notice the quality of energy within you and also around you. We want to soak up the goodness, releasing any distress, disturbances, or dis-ease as we welcome and soak up that goodness. Okay. Let's continue. Again, bend the knees. We'll come to our home base once again. Feet hip width apart, arms grounded, palms down, and the heels drawn a little bit more closely towards the buttock. This is called the Waterwheel. Again, drawing the knee into chest. We're not using the arms or hands. Extend that leg straight upwardly with an actively flexed ankle. Engage the pelvic floor, the abdominal core. Slowly lower that extended leg almost to the floor. And then continue this movement. Again, when do you inhale? And how thorough, conscious is your exhalation? If you'd like to go a little bit deeper with cleansing the bronchioles and adding a little bit more conscious respiratory fitness, when you inhale, you're going to create the sound as if you're fogging a cold mirror. And then as you exhale, the same sound like this. Can you inhale making the same sound? And exhale. And let's explore again 2 more. Good. Draw that knee into chest. And we're going to clasp the stacked hands behind the thigh close to the knee crease. Please avoid interlacing your fingers as that is troubling for the knuckles and fingers, especially if you have arthritis or any other condition of inflammation in the hands. Draw that knee into the left side of your chest and extend the opposite leg, floating the leg 2 to 4 inches above the floor. Roll the shoulders back and down. You're in a sort of jackknife position. And again, engage the abdominals and lift your head up towards the knee. Of course, you can bring the forehead towards the tucked knee, or you can balance your shoulders levelly, drawing your chin towards your throat instead. This is a version of the half wind relieving pose, and this supports our gastrointestinal health, as well as the muscles, organs, and fluid in the pelvis. One more breath in, lift, 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 tuck. And then carefully, slowly lower the head, neck, shoulders, the extended leg, and then slide the recently activated tucked leg inwardly. Make any adjustments to level your hips. And let's do this on the other side, drawing in the opposite leg. Once again, stacking the hands, actively flex the ankles, and take a few breaths. Okay, proceeding if you wish. Lift your head, tuck your chin, level your shoulders now. And then going further, if you wish, lift the extended leg 2 to 4 inches. Breathe, but notice where you can relax even as you're applying effort. Okay, allow the sensations to build even while you're noticing any distress or conversation in your mind about releasing. Let's take one more breath in, and then again, very carefully lower, release, extend and rest your arms, palms up or down, and allow your entire body to melt with relief in this position of least resistance. And 3 more breaths. Do you notice that you are more than your body? You also have a quality of energy facilitated by your movement or breath that is stimulated during our practice this morning. And then slowly bend the elbows, bringing your hands to prayer position. We're going to work a little bit with shoulders if possible. So draw the shoulders back and down, the elbows streamline to your side, and allow your arms to extend. Can you tap your fingers to the floor above your head? And then slowly come on back to your home base here. Okay, if this movement is easy for you, then press your hands together even more firmly. And this will create an opportunity for additional toning. Okay, relax your eyes, your face. Where else can you relax as you continue with 2 or 3 more of these movements? Do you notice the effect of these movements on your upper back and shoulders, on the chest, and in what areas around the arms, the hands? Good. And slowly release your arms diagonally to your sides. Pause for a breath in and out. And then we'll finish for now our supine practice with the feet more widely apart and knees bent. And allow some slow rocking motion of the knees from side to side. Doesn't that feel great? I hope you're doing well so far. I like to think of the yoga practice as an opportunity to enter a playground of self-awareness through movement, through breathing, through observation of thoughts and feelings, and invoke the qualities of trust and patience as I go along. Okay, release that rocking motion. Here's where we're going to roll onto one side and settle the body in the center of your yoga mat. You might enjoy placing your head as a pillow on your arm, or you can use a pillow or a folded blanket to support your head. Just work with what is best for you. We want to have comfort and stability throughout the practice. So you're lying on your side, and I'm going to invite you to create a right angle at your hip where it joins the leg, and also at your knees. All right, so a right angle, and then place your top hand on the floor to engage with a sort of stability that keeps your body stacked, shoulders upon shoulder and hip upon hip. Okay, take a breath in, and as you exhale, once again, engage some of your abdominal muscles to help the lower back remain long and strong and stable. So we'll start with what's called clamshells, lifting and lowering the top leg. We want to do this slowly so that the inner and outer thighs feel their relationship with the pelvis. As you continue again, notice where you can relax. Sometimes I discover that I'm tensing unnecessarily in other parts of my body. We want to economize effort in just the right parts and places that are being asked to move. Okay, come to stillness, inhale, relax more where you can. And now the reverse clamshell. Lifting and lowering the top foot while the knees remain joined. So again, there's no substitute for experience. You're going to have to trust me. And then when you get on your mat and engage with the deeper practices of Hatha Yoga, you will sense that you have been prepared for and are most able to diligently apply yourself to the efforts of those postures. Okay, so last one, release. Again, take a couple of breaths. Feel free to let out a sigh or a groan. And now we're going to practice what's called the clamshell slide. So again, we lift the top knee, but we also slide the top foot up towards the bottom knee. With the top knee still lifted, slide back and then return to home base, knees together. Lift the knee, slide the foot up. That's great. Slide the foot back down again, and then close the knees. Okay, breathe in and in, and out, and out. Let's do about 3 more. Okay, and you notice the sensations that are building and step back from any urge to fight, okay, to run away or to shut down from your experience of sensation. Okay, good. Release, take a breath. You're welcome to touch, massage, or even slap the areas of challenge when need be. Okay, and now the reverse clamshell slide. So the knees stay together and we're lifting the top foot. Then we're sliding the top knee down towards the bottom ankle. And then we slide that knee back up again and then replace the foot to the resting position. So you might notice that as I slide the leg down, I'm going to continue with a bent top knee. So the top knee remains bent the whole time. Okay, how do I do this? Well, I can roll or tilt the torso forward and then back to neutral. And that might help with the range of motion, especially for those people who have hip replacements or other types of hip or lower back or any kind of issue that is prohibitive with keeping the shoulders stacked. Okay, so one more, lift the top foot, slide the top knee down towards your ankle, and then come up and release. Okay, so are you ready for a little bit of a massage? Your hands have special energy centers. They're called marma points or small chakras. And so when you massage, when you touch, when you send your attention through your hands to your body really likes that and benefits. Okay. This next movement is a twist. All right. We're going to slide the top arm as far forward. You can see that I'm bringing my face towards the floor. And then with a bent top elbow, roll onto your back. Do not straighten out that top arm. Really keep that elbow bent as we roll back. Continue and notice everything there is to notice about your body in motion. What is the relationship between your body above the waist and the body below the waist? Twisting is a wonderful practice. It encourages a squeeze and soak of many of the internal organs and supports the mobility and stability of the spine, the spinal muscles, and the entire network of muscles in the torso. Okay, so let's go ahead and just slide forward, chest and face to the floor. And then as we bend the elbow and roll back, see if you can hold this posture. You might want to extend the bottom arm out. You can also place the bottom arm on top of the top leg somewhere. The idea is to allow the breath to be the change agent with each posture. Where can you relax as you take 2 more breaths, starting with this next exhalation? All right, in your own way, with safety and appreciation for that recent activity, come back to a resting point on your side. And our final practice on this side is to extend the top leg. Allow the leg to be extended out of your hip. We're going to internally rotate that extended top leg so that the toes are pointing downwardly towards the mat. Again, tone into your abdominal pelvic area, and it's a dip and a lift. Okay? Now, I'm going to encourage you to not lift that extended leg as high as you think you can. Instead, make small movements so that this top hip remains aligned with the bottom hip and your top leg is in an internal rotation, the toe pointing downwardly. This brings safety, alignment, and a very constructive opportunity for the inner guide wires of the pelvic muscles to strengthen and tone and align. Good stuff. Okay, and last one. And then slowly, with patience, release the top leg, bending the knee, and again, allowing a little bit of a sigh out. Ah. Okay, well done. Now you can just roll over, or you can do like I'm doing, just to continue facing the camera, and come up and then release to the other side. Okay? Again, bring your pillow, your arm for your head, and bend your knees, right angle from the hip into the knees, everything stacked, and the top hand stabilizing on the floor. Okay? And these are just suggestions. If you find some other way that you prefer to practice any of these somatic mechanic movements, then by all means be adaptive and modify. Good. So the feet are joined, the knees lift away and then together. Notice the friendship of your breath with your body. Don't get ahead of the breath. Okay, and two more. Good. Release. Take an integrative breath or two. You can do your healing touch or massage. Okay. And then the reverse clamshell. Isn't it wonderful to know that your body can move in this way and that you have chosen to take some dedicated time to place a conscious awareness into your body, to nurture your body? And again, one more. Okay. Pause to release, make any adjustments for greater comfort and stability. And then let's head into the clamshell slide. If you remember, we lift the top knee, slide that top foot up towards the bottom knee, slide the foot back down again, and then lower the top knee. So it's 4 movements: lift, slide, slide back down, and then lower. Okay, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, how about one more? And release. Again, feel free to let out any sigh or sound. We are actually vibration. Vibration can be heard with a sigh or a sound, and that also sends a signal to the body mind that we know how to effort and we also know how to relax. Okay, and our final movement on the side, extend the top leg. Okay, actively elongate the entire side body, internally rotate the entire leg, and have the toes pointing downwardly towards your mat, and lower and lift just high enough so that you can feel some action in the pelvis and in the outer inner thigh. Ooh, this is so good for us. Okay, and 2 more. And release, stack. Okay, very good. So we're going to come up into the table position. This is a position on all fours, on the hands and knees. And we want to place the wrists underneath the shoulders. Okay, and you might even want to lift the fingertips and then gently ground them into the mat. The knees are just beneath the hips, and try to separate your feet also hip width apart. Okay, good. So this is often called cat-cow, or I like to call it mountain valley. We're slowly extending and flexing the spine. And the key word is slowly, so that the undulation of the spine reaches deeply into the internal organs, allowing a liquidity or a bathing along the spinal cord and throughout the inner torso. In what other ways do you consider this movement valuable and relevant for your body health? Okay, and take your time now, one more in each direction. And then level the torso over the floor. We're going to draw the knees together, the feet together, and then step the hands more widely apart, maybe just 2 to 4 inches. And do some hip rotations, small, medium, large. Just work with what is possible for you. Aside from this rotation being really valuable for the muscles of the buttock and the inner pelvis and thighs, as you go the other way, can you tell how your upper back, chest, and arms are working? I like to encourage my students to keep the elbows slightly bent at all times. When we lock the elbows, we're actually depriving the shoulders of some strengthening. We're actually jamming the arms up into the shoulders, which does not bode well for shoulder health. Okay. And so one more circle in this direction. All right, terrific. So I'd like you now to come down onto your elbows. You can interlace your fingers here or bring your hands into prayer position. Once again, elbows beneath the shoulders, shoulder width apart. Okay, we're going to practice the half plank pose. You're going to extend one leg and curl that set of toes under. You might press the heel back to encourage a stretch of the calf muscle. What to do with the head? Well, you might lift the head and extend the gaze of your eyes diagonally forward and down. Or what I like to do is tuck the chin slightly so that the back of my neck has a little bit of a natural curve, but the blood and the heat generated from this posture can be more beneficial. Okay, one more breath in. And then let's switch sides. Stretch your calves, press out through the calves. Reach your heel back. And again, avoid the urge to collapse on your shoulders. It's a wonderful time to strengthen the shoulders again. Draw the shoulders away from the ears and broaden the space between your shoulder blades. Okay, wonderful. Release the knees. Come back up into table. And just for a moment or two, shake out one arm at a time. Okay, feel this movement as a great opportunity to bring the quality of energy that we call prana that interacts with the body, for optimal dynamism and expansiveness of the life force. And other hand, why would we want more of a life force in our body? Consider the alternative. Okay. And then release. So if you have a yoga bolster, our next series of movements, you can take your yoga bolster and place it on the mat, lowering the pelvic triangle to the yoga bolster. Now the pelvic triangle is where the front of the hip bones meet the pubic bone. So you're going to have your pubic bone on the bolster and not your ribs, unless you're super short-waisted, and that's okay. If you don't have a bolster, then you can take a firmly folded blanket, and you can pause the video at any time to get your props. And very similarly, place the pelvic triangle on the folded blanket. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate in this way, but if you are using your bolster, you'll understand and be able to access the same practice. All right, so we want to roll the shoulders back and down, and we want to draw the lower rib cage in. All right, a lot of times if you sag the lower rib cage, you're doing some harm to the lower back. So pulling in the bottom of the ribs certainly fortifies the inclined plane of the spine and the gift of having strength in your core arena. Okay, so this is a variation of what's called the cobra. It's called the Sphinx Pose. And we want to get the sense that the elbows are pulling backwardly. The shoulders are broad and down. The lower ribs are pulling inwardly. And you'll sense the buttock bringing up a little bit of a squeeze as you lengthen the legs. Let's just take 3 more breaths, starting with this next exhalation. Okay, wonderful. So swing the elbows outwardly and let's stack the hands. Now I'm going to remove my glasses because it becomes an awkward situation with my glasses on. You can do that too. So I'm going to stack my hands and turn my head towards the camera, lowering my head to the top hands. Okay. Then you'll take a breath in and out. And then we're going to work with the opposite leg. Slowly bend at the knee and draw the heel towards the center of that buttock and then lower. Okay, what are you noticing? Do you need to change your body position in any way to make this more of a steady and comfortable practice? Go right ahead. It's your practice. And 2 more. Move slowly. We want to never lose control, but move slowly, smoothly, continuously. And last one.
Okay, good. And we're going to go to the opposite leg, and I'd like you to turn your head away from the camera if you'd like, so that you have the balanced experience in your neck. And I'm not going to, so that the audio is a little bit clearer. So same thing, but with the other leg. Can you imagine that the abdominal pelvic muscles and internal physiology are benefiting? We're even toning the kidneys and the adrenals with this practice. It's subtle, but beneficial. Okay, good. And again, two more. Let's start with the next. Very conscious, full exhalation. Wonderful. You're going to feel so good after this practice. Let's come back to our Sphinx pose. And if you recall, elbows right underneath the shoulders to begin with. This time, hands also elbow or shoulder width apart. We're going to firm the buttock again, draw in these lower ribs to lengthen and strengthen the middle and lower back. And then, if possible, not everybody can curl his or her toes under at this point, but if you can, lift the knees, press the heels back. Okay, continue this movement. If you are having any reason why your toes will not curl under, bring your feet to point outwardly, your heels to drop inwardly. And just see what that's like for you as an alternative. Anybody's allowed to practice this instead. Okay, and then remember those fundamentals. We'll draw the shoulders back and down, draw the lower ribs in, firm the buttock and elongate the legs, and pressing out through the heels, whether your toes are tucked or turned outwardly. Okay, breathe in and slowly release. Let your body digest and assimilate each of your practices. Slide the elbows outwardly, stack the hands again, and let's lower the head so that, again, the face is pointed towards your video. Okay, so now we're going to step the opposite leg out to the side. My knee is going to bend and soften that foot. And let's circle out of what appears to be the knee, but actually this is a rinsing rotational movement deep inside the pelvis. As you continue, can you even feel your lower back sliding and gliding with this movement? I hope so. And then going the other way, you might experiment with flexing that ankle and seeing if it adds or subtracts in any way from your experience. And last one, beautiful rotation. The body loves nonlinear movement. It's very refreshing. So return the leg back to alignment with that side of the body. And let's go to the other side. Bend the knee. Take the knee a little further out to the side. And yes, you can turn your head in the opposite direction to facilitate a balance in your neck. When you practice this sort of yoga therapy on a regular basis, I'll challenge you to practice it every day. Go the other way. It has far reaching effects on every part of your physical body. It can also enhance your mental and conscious self-regulation. And I've discovered that when I practice regularly, it increases my self-esteem and the positive perspective that I have on my life and life in general. Okay, good, wonderful. Step that knee back, extend the leg, bring your head to neutral with your chin on your top hand, or you can tuck the chin under and lower the forehead to your top hand. Firm the buttock, press the pubic bone down. Remember the action of drawing the lower rib cage in that stimulates strength and length in the spine. We'll try that. And then even if you just do this in your imagination, we're going to be lifting one leg. It doesn't matter which one, but I'd like to keep your hips firmly and evenly grounded against your bolster or your folded blanket. Okay. Stay here with an elevated and elongated leg, or reach your arms by your sides. You can place the palms on the floor, or going deeper, lift the arms into the half boat pose. Are you breathing? Remember that you can release at any time. You can also stay for as long as this feels meaningful and relevant to you. Okay, if you're ready to move on, we'll stack the opposite hand on top, lower the leg, and place the chin or the forehead on that top hand. Okay, you want to bring up the squeeze in the buttock and elongate the spine by drawing the lower rib cage in, and then the opposite leg lifts and lengthens. Can you soften your eyes? Relax your jaw. Notice your heartbeat. And beautiful. One more breath in. And then going further, you might swim your arms to your sides and lift the upper body. Remember my explanation of your preference for the positioning of your head. You can have your chin quite lifted, gazing diagonally outwardly and down, or you can tuck your chin slightly and leave more room for the activity below the neck to inform the neck and brain. Okay, good. Breathe in. And fabulous release. Okay. Breathing in again. And as you release, breathe naturally, press back up through table. You might slide your bolster and your pillow aside. And we'll curl the toes under again. Again, that's optional. You can also flatten your feet on the floor. And we'll sit back towards the heels. Now watch your knees, everybody. With any issues in your knees, you can slide the blanket underneath your knees or do this with the assist of a chair, standing on your feet. You might go as far back as elbows to the floor or further drawing the tailbone under to lengthen that lower back. Sit back towards your heels. You can even stack your forearms, okay? Your fists, your hands, or lower the head to the floor, arms outstretched or to your sides. Keep breathing in this position. You know, the child pose is one of reverence. It's one of innocence. It is considered somewhat of a prayer position. It's a slight inversion. It also is a position that helps us to feel safeguarded in our soft underbelly, literally and figuratively, and to feel the back open widely with safety and strength. So let's just take 2 or 3 more breaths knowing these things and the value. Okay, slowly come up out of table. If you had your toes curled under, how about lifting your lower legs and shaking out your toes? This is fun and again, a valuable practice to digest and assimilate the higher quality of energy, of circulation and flow in the body. Okay, good. Walk your knees to one side, and as before, we're going to stretch out on the back. But first, let's step the feet widely apart and allow your hands to stretch diagonally back. Your fingers can be pointing diagonally out behind you. And allow, again, some rocking motion. Okay. So if this is easy for you and you can just experiment, when your knees go down, you can wrap that top arm around. Okay, and then to the other side. Wonderful. So one more on each side. And we're back to center. Okay, carefully release your body to the floor. For those of you who normally use a pillow under your head, I don't recommend it for this particular series of movements. So see if you can slide the pillow out from underneath your head. Right now, you can always bring it back. So again, this is the bridge pose. So we're going to walk the knees into a sharper angle, heels closer to the buttock and fingertips, and then bend the elbows, shruggle out through the shoulders. Palms of the hands are actively extending the fingers towards each other. Okay, so some warm-ups. Curl the tailbone under, firm the buttock and thighs, press upwardly. And then come down in reverse as if your tailbone were to come down last. Okay, if you want to continue with this movement and
create a wave-like action of movement that also treats your shoulders. Come on down, lower your arms to your sides as you exhale. And then come on back up again. As you inhale, reach your arms as far up and overhead as your shoulders have that range of motion. And then come on back down again. And you know, this is a coordination with the body below and above the waist. So see if you can move them in unison in such a way that your arms go overhead when you come up to your highest point in the lifting of the buttock, and then your arms come all the way down when the buttock also fully releases. Okay, and two more of these. Can you feel how this movement enhances your breathing? It's also a little bit of an inversion. Good, last one. And slowly extend the legs and toss the arms comfortably to your side. Relax and close your eyes. And again, feel the opportunity to rest and digest. Allow every cell of your body to be nourished and to soak up the goodness. And affirm the way that the cells organize in your body, each an intelligent contribution to the anatomy and the physiology that makes up your home in the body. Okay, so we're headed for Savasana. We're headed for a bit of a deep relaxation experience. And it's this time where I'd like if you have a pair of socks you want to put on, a sweater you want to zip up into, or a yoga blanket you'd like to pull over your body. It's so important to achieve comfort in your body so that you can fully relax and receive. So go ahead and do that. And continue making micro movements as you stretch out on your back so that you are supporting yourself in the best way to gain a sense of peacefulness and a sense of permission that you deserve this time of peacefulness and relaxation. Okay, are there any other movements that would feel especially welcome and wise before you stretch out completely and relax? And I will remain seated and sort of watch over you, allowing you to have just a few encouraging instructions on letting go. And that's what we're doing. We're letting go. So just taking 3 breaths, they can be deep breaths or shallow breaths or medium breaths. And then I'm going to name your body parts. And each time I name your body part, I ask you to become aware of it. You don't need to move it, but just become aware of and then fully relax that body part. So become aware of and fully relax your right foot. And now your left foot. And now awareness and relaxation of both feet.
become aware of your right leg. Relax the right leg. And now the left leg. And relax both legs. The legs are beautifully relaxed, wonderfully relaxed. And become aware of and relax your right hand. Left hand. The whole right arm. And the whole left arm. And now relaxing both arms together. The arms are wonderfully and beautifully relaxed. And now become aware of and relax all four limbs, the legs and the arms together. Heavy, warm, relaxed. Bring your attention to the whole of your head. Notice the weight of the head. Relax the neck. Soften your face. And relax your brain. Allow the relaxed brain to send signals of relaxation up and down the spinal cord. That message of relaxation reaching out into the shoulders, chest, upper back, the middle back, the rib cage, and all that the rib cage contains, wonderfully relaxed. The lower back and belly. And now the whole of the pelvis. And your hips, the muscles of the pelvis, the viscera and liquidity of the pelvis, and the pelvic floor. And now become aware of the whole body. The whole body. The whole body is wonderfully relaxed, beautifully and completely relaxed. Gradually deepening the breath, allowing your awareness to surface into the body, remaining relaxed and quiet. Allow your awareness to fill your whole body. And now introduce the great elixir of gratitude, of thankfulness, and deep appreciation for your whole body and for your life. Bathe in the goodness of your body and your being, the gift of your life itself. And now, when you are ready, introduce any kind of gentle stretching movement, awakening movement in your body. Stretch and yawn. And over the next while, roll to one side and keeping a gentle inward focus, pressing into a comfortable seated position. As you find your seat, allow the spine to lengthen and some buoyancy to enter the torso. Rest your hands, palms up in the middle of your thighs, allowing the elbows to comfortably drop down away from the shoulders. And now lengthening the neck and balancing the weight of your head between the shoulders over your seat. So we've come full circle in our yoga therapy practice. Again, welcome gratitude and appreciation for your patience and your trust and the offering of intimacy towards yourself and the spirit of yoga. As you prepare to head off the mat and into this day, consider one way or one intention that you'd like to take with you off the mat and into this day for your own highest good and towards the blessing of others. And then gather your hands into prayer position. You're welcome to bow your head. Allow this gesture of harmony, of beauty, and of love to assist you in manifesting your intention to live within your highest goodness and bless others. And then opening your eyes. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Again, I am Kelly McKibben, and my yoga studio is Good Yoga. I am available through my website, goodyoga.net. I have several other videos which you might enjoy practicing with me. So I hope to see you again soon. Blessings.